Fragments, Part as the Whole. This exhibition is being guest curated by Priscilla Bendershore, who is a very well-known artist and teacher in this community. We have paintings, three-dimensional work, photographers, mixed media. It's an exhibition that really has something for everybody in it. We have artists from 19 years old to 90 years old. And I like to tell people you can't tell the age of the artist by their art. All the art that's here today is pretty ageless. I got an email just a couple days before the exhibition was opening up in Betteravia, and it was an art teacher in Santa Maria who wrote me about her former student. Ian Hassett is his name. He's 19 years old, and she told me very frankly he was dying, and it was his dying wish to be in an adult exhibition.
They're large drawings of parts of the face. There's the eye, the nose, all separate drawings done in a very traditional École Beaux-Arts kind of drawing training.
We just thought, this is great, this is perfect for this exhibition. And we said yes, and I believe that was a Thursday. Friday was the opening, and his mother came to the show. He was too sick to come, and he passed the following Wednesday. So it was amazing that we were able to get him into the show, and I love the thought that when you're an artist, you live beyond your art. So even though Ian isn't here with us, Ian is here with us.
This is a piece that's part of a series called Geography of the Face. And I'm interested in the human face and how it intersects with earthly forms. In order to do this, I first take a photograph that then I blow up, section each section so that I'm drawing an individual landscape. Each one of these squares I regard separately. Then I piece them together, and it's a fragment of a fragment.
There was only one artist who was invited, and that's Elizabeth Turk. And she's a very well-known sculptor. And what she had submitted, they're little marble sculptures of the navel. What she did was the incredibly skilled thing to take the hardest material and imbue it with a form that is totally organic and palpable. It's very exciting. Yeah. You know, you want to touch it and feel it and say, wait a minute, it's a rock.
A number of years ago, I made the observation that if there was, in the world of photography, a second universally held or agreed on tenet other than light is good, it seemed to be that digital noise is ugly and evil and must be avoided, eliminated, or eradicated. It eventually led me to this really interesting place where I now use the textural effect to essentially obliterate the photographic detail that we normally ascribe to photography. Many people were responding to my work as if it were a painting, and so I thought, well, okay, if I really want to mix things up so that I can mess with people's perception of what something is, why don't I actually print them on canvas, stretch them like a painting, and then, you know, treat it like a painting so there's hand gesture in there as well, and then it really blurs the boundaries as to what it is, which calls another question in, which is, does the medium matter, and how much does it matter? Does it change your perception of the work if you know it's a photograph versus if you think it's a painting?
I think one of the things that people comment about this photograph a lot is that it's ambiguous. And it's kind of hard to tell, is that a man or is that a woman? Well, probably if you saw the whole shoe, it would tell you, because it's large. You know, the heel is very large, but you're just seeing the tips, and so it's hard to get a perspective on it. For me, it was really interesting and felt really courageous, and in the drag community, the people that I was working with weren't interested in becoming the other opposite sex. They were just interested in expressing that part of themselves. So these men were expressing their feminine side, but they were really happy to be men. This is more of a setup shot. I was working with 3 performers at the time, and I was really interested in showing the blend, because it's a classic kind of muscle guy shot, you know, but with the red sort of prom dress on. I love the juxtaposition of the two. And again, I've had people say, is that a woman or is it a man? Because you can't see the face, and it's still got a little bit of that ambiguousness that I find really interesting.
One of the things that I judge when I'm inspired by something to the point that it transforms me is when I walk out on the street, having been in a museum or in a gallery, and I start seeing things as if through the artist's eye that I was looking at. And I think art really does have an enormous power to transform the way you see and enrich the way you see things. And a city without art is more like a prison.
You know, as a juror, you stay anonymous. You really can't pick things on the basis of who the artist is. But that doesn't factor into the choices. All the submissions that came in were fascinating to me. I don't think there's a piece in this show that isn't either interesting or provocative, or in some cases, beautiful, which is a word that is out of the vocabulary, really, for artwork. There are no parameters with respect to materials or media. There are no parameters with respect to size. The only parameters are the concept of the fragment.